They have a count?
I think they do.
They have the
I think
count.
we get that, yeah.
Are we good?
That's
All right. All right, going to call the meeting to order at 6:35. On roll call, Mr. Bartlett.
Here.
Mrs. Graves.
Here.
Dr. Lewis.
Here.
Ms. Palazzolo.
Here.
Ms. Rankin.
Here.
Mr. Stelzer.
Here.
All right, has everybody reviewed the minutes from the last meeting? Any questions regarding the minutes?
Oh.
No, we all good? All right, I need a motion and a second to accept the minutes, please.
So moved.
Second.
On roll call, Mr. Bartlett,
Aye.
Mrs. Graves,
Aye.
Dr. Lewis,
Aye.
Ms. Palazzolo, Maggie.
Oh, sorry. I said aye.
Oh, sorry. Mrs. Rankin,
Aye.
Mr. Stelzer.
Aye.
All right, we'll accept those minutes. All right, next on the agenda is Deanna Dara has been in, she's at the end of her 6-month probationary period, and it is requested that she be made a regular full-time employee. Do we have any comments on that? I think she's been doing a very good job. I stop in to see her every so often. Yeah, we all good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely good.
Okay, I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay, did you get that? All right, Mr. Bartlett,
Aye.
Mrs. Graves,
Aye.
Dr. Lewis,
Aye.
Ms. Palazzolo.
Aye.
Ms. Rankin,
Aye.
Mr. Stelzer.
Aye.
Joe, we can't see you. Oh, no, we can see, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Yeah. All right, in communications, you all have seen the reports. You saw Chief Hines' report, you saw Chief Feitner's report, Scherpenberg's, Deanna's report. Any questions regarding any of these reports, you can contact the department heads yourself. I would like to take, though, just 1 second here. I've received a couple of letters and a couple of emails sort of complimenting the chief on his job for handling the Black Lives Matter gathering that we had, and a couple of others from residents basically saying what a great job that he's done. I think he did a really good job. And these are available for anybody who would like to see them. I also have a communication here from Tim Feitner. I think I'm going to wait on this though until we get to the committee part of our meeting, because it regards Maggie. This is something that's probably going to go in your committee, but we'll get back to that.
Okay.
All right, under permission to address council, I have not received any emails from any residents today or otherwise regarding any current questions. So all of you, anybody that's out there that's watching this, please don't forget about this. I know I've been saying for like the last 3 meetings that this would be our last Zoom meeting. And it seems like, every time I get, thwarted on that. However, there has been an increase in the virus in the county. And I just thought that, we should err on the side of caution. Hopefully, maybe the 1st of August, we'll be able to get, back to open meetings. It's kind of a fluid situation. We will be keeping you posted. When we're able to get back to that, obviously we all want to get back to it. We want to hold all of our committee meetings that way. So as soon as we can, we will be getting back to it. And if you do have questions, email them in to me. I'm happy to read them. I'm happy to answer a few questions. So keep it in mind. All right, motion to pay the bills. Have we all seen the bills?
Yes.
And a quick question, just for Joni, for the HSA contributions, it says this is the new, we're starting to, because involve the new rate for the HSA, or is this because of the change in the healthcare plan?
The change in healthcare.
Yeah, because I just noticed that that note was in there and I just want to make, so that's
Right.
taking effect now.
Right. The
Like
money
it's-
won't be deposited until August.
Yeah.
But it takes a while to get it processed. and
Yeah.
then-
Because we had all agreed on that in the committee too, as well, that we would go ahead and do that. So
Yes, that's what that is.
perfect.
One question for Joni as well. It says May 2020 and June 2020, police and fire pension fund. Usually we pay 1 month at a time, or is that typical to pay 2 months?
That probably should be June.
Just June?
Let me double check, but I just did the June one.
Okay. That seems like about the right amount for 1 month, right?
Is it the right amount for 1 month approximately? Yeah, yeah.
You can get, I'll call you tomorrow, Joni.
I'll double check for you and let you know.
Okay.
All right. and-
One additional quick comment. Somebody needs to go back and check the math on the payroll summary or on the payroll detail. Some of the totals, aren't the right amounts. So, and it doesn't total all the way down either. So, and where you can see it definitely is on the swim or on the pool total. It's only picking up one salary instead of the 20 or so that are there.
Yeah.
And I don't think the total is right either. So somebody needs to go back and check the math on it.
I'll do that.
All right. We'll check it, Joe. Also, if anybody's got any questions why that was such a large water bill, I believe it's because, the water that we use to fill the pool is in that bill. We're going to be monitoring that situation down there, because we do know that we have a slight leak. So far, we've not done anything to correct the leak. We're just topping off the pool. We will be monitoring that.
And on that note, on the water bill, I had talked to John, and I guess Waterworks did an estimate down at the building down by the tennis courts, because they couldn't get in and read it, and they estimated it as $1,000.
Yeah, I talked to.
So they're gonna adjust that.
Yeah, they're going to adjust that. Well, they're going to take it off. In fact, they're taking off the $1,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, adjust it for $1,000. Hey, I just got a question from Eileen that she can watch it, but she wonders if she can join the meeting. Can I send her the link or? Sorry.
Well, when we get to miscellaneous, we were gonna, the 5G topic was, of course, gonna be brought up. I was gonna
Right.
mention, about and if you all had any questions of her that you can, I guess, if she wants to come in and you want to ask them tonight,
I think
or
handle it the same way that
or
we've done others, right? It's not-
you can,
I think she can watch it, but I don't think she should.
yeah, and you can
We-
contact her.
You guys know some of the information too, right? We could ask questions.
Yeah. Marcy had a lot to do with it. Kelly had a lot to do with it. Yeah, if we have questions. Eileen obviously is sort of the point person on this in a way. she really did the lion's share of the work. And so if the questions get more detailed or more technical.
Okay.
Back anyway, it was just, I think it was he on the agenda? Or was it,
Jack?
he joined?
Anyway. Anyway,
He
Yeah.
did join for one of them, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we had one.
Well, we had a question and answer session with him, right before we published. Yeah.
Whatever you guys-
Okay.
She is watching. I just want to make you aware, but she's just asking about joining. So,
I don't have any problem with her joining.
Since we let Jack join before too, that seems,
Yeah, Bill, I don't think there's anything wrong with her joining right now, if that's what you're concerned about.
all right, consensus, I'm going to send her the link.
Send her the link. Send her-
All right.
Send it.
Motion second.
Yeah, we still need a motion and a second to pay the bills.
A motion to pay the bills.
Second, do I hear a second? Rob has the second. Mr. Bartlett,
Aye.
Mrs. Graves,
Aye.
Dr. Lewis,
Aye.
Ms. Palazzolo.
Aye.
Ms. Rankin,
Aye.
Mr. Stelzer.
Hi.
All right, let's pay the bills. All right, next on the agenda, I think, is the committee report.
Yes, we have one report from the Rules and Laws Committee
Yes.
regarding Mayor's Court fees and Mariemont Code of Ordinance changes. The Rules and Laws Committee met on July 1st, 2020 at 2:00 p.m. Present was Maggie Palazzolo, Rob Bartlett, and Marcy Lewis. Items discussed, and also please see attached for detail on each change. The committee, number one, the committee discussed increasing the Mayor's Court fees from $65 to $70. Data from surrounding municipalities indicated this is justified. We recommend that council approve this increase. Number two, we recommend the change to the rules of council 33.13, Rule 33 regarding voting to clarify what constitutes a tie. Number 3, as an administrative change, we should consider changing Rule 5 to read, quote, his/her, rather than only, quote, his, and consider doing this throughout the code book. Number 4, remove this text while in the tot lot area of Dogwood Park, as well as, end quote, in 90.01 because it isn't accurate. Number 5, add part C to the 31.021 general duties of the mayor. Number 6, add parts 7 and 8 to 32.13 rules of council, Rule 19. Number 7, add language to 32.13 rules of council, Rule 25. And number 8, add language to ensure that our code book specifies that all of Mariemont's traffic control devices are consistent with Ohio Manual for Uniform Traffic Control Devices, ORC 451.11. The committee recommends that the solicitor prepare the necessary legislation. The meeting adjourned at 3:00 p.m. respectively submitted, and soon to be signed by Maggie Palazzolo, Chairman, Maggie Marcy Lewis, and Rob Bartlett.
I have some concerns about this report. I just received a copy this afternoon to sign. Prior to, or subject to our meeting, there were several topics that needed follow-up that I never received follow-up about.
Oh, I can send you Ed's email. I should have, and I'm really sorry. I totally didn't send that around.
And the thing is, you know, I was looking for this report in my email all last week because I specifically had questions I wanted to ask. And the first, I just assumed it wasn't going to be in this packet, and then I saw it in the packet. And you know, there's just, like I said, a couple items that I think need further clarification. We could go through them line by line.
Okay.
There's one I decided that I do not agree with and can't support. I don't know whether we do that now or whether we have another meeting or how other people feel about it.
Can I either approve of the report or not? So we should.
Well, hold on a minute. Let me make a suggestion here, because this is a long report, and in an effort to sort of, you know, more efficiently use our time, I'm going to make a suggestion here, because there are a lot of things in this report that do need clarification. I mean, we can probably all agree on number 1 about the fee increase, but the rest of it, I do believe, needs some type of clarification. And when I say clarification, Maggie, I mean, basically, you need to explain, you know, why are you doing this, and what is the effect of these changes that are to be made. So I would suggest that essentially we just basically table this, send it back, you provide the clarification, and then we move forward with it in 2 weeks. And other than, and what the second option would be, if we can all agree on number 1, we could amend the thing past number 1 to get the fee increase in place, and then send item 2 through 8 back to your committee for further clarification. That would be my recommendation here tonight.
Okay.
If we take the time to go line by line through this tonight, we're essentially reconstituting or reholding the committee meeting. I don't really think it's appropriate to do that here.
Okay. We can. I'll call you then about what more you need.
Well,
Like what you're looking for specifically.
She said she should follow up with you on what.
I'll follow up with you on what you're looking for. Because I was
Okay.
thinking once you read the code, like we would chat about it as the council to clarify to the council members who didn't come to the actual committee meeting, and then we'd vote from that point.
There are, you're right, there are aspects going through the codes. I mean, you know, where you've made some changes, you know, kind of a thing. But I think, you know, additionally, we need to know, you know, why you're making the changes and what the effect of these changes will be going forward, you know, kind of as an item.
Okay.
All right, do we want to amend it and pass item 1?
One though, to get that done for chief.
We can do that. Can
I make a suggestion? Because number 3, as far as just changing it from his to his, her, it seems, you know, easy enough. And we want to just vote on that also and take that off the list, or to get it, you know, not have to talk about so many things next time. What does everybody think about that?
What did Ed, because you asked Ed that question, right, Maggie? Do you know what was Ed's response to that?
Yeah, he said, well, Ed, you can talk. He just said, that's fine if you want to. It's a matter of preference, whatever.
Yeah, right. It's just a matter of preference. Rob. If you want to do it, that's fine. Maggie had sent me an email saying that she'd heard somewhere that it's not the proper thing to do, but if we choose to do that, we certainly can. There's nothing illegal about it.
I mean, way back in a law class, I remember the discussion being something like, it's just convention. We don't worry about it too much. And if that's the case, I mean, it's not horrible. It's just something to do.
Yeah, I don't think many people do worry about it, but like I say, if that's what you want to do, that's fine by me.
Well, let me ask this, would this be, I mean, do we actually need what would we be doing here? I mean, would this just be something that we could take care of when we recodify?
Yes.
Right, yeah, when we get down to recodifying it, then we would just tell American Legal Publishing that
To
this is
make
where we
the
want
change then?
references made. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'd be easier that way.
All right. Okay. Well, let's, I think I need a motion then that we're going to vote on number 1. And we're gonna
Bill,
send,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think you need to have a motion to table all items except one and whatever else you feel comfortable voting on tonight, and vote on that motion to table. Okay?
all right. So I'm making the motion to table all items but 1.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Are we doing 3? Do we need 3 in this? I mean, or are we just that's just gonna be something that'll be taken care of anyway when we recodify?
Right.
Well, it's part of the report, so you either have
Yeah.
to.
All right. Okay. All right. So,
Just pass it.
all right. So amend my motion to be item 1 and 3.
Okay,
No, the other way around. I lost my track now. When the hell are we?
We're just gonna accept.
We're just going to, my motion is we're just going to accept 1 and 3. We're tabling 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Do I hear a second?
second. Do we need to move in a second?
Yeah, right.
You
Can't
can't.
vote.
Okay, so move.
No, I can.
Second.
Wait, we need to move.
All right. Somebody else has got to make the motion.
Well, I have to say all that again?
Got to say all that again.
Okay, I move to
Just
pass item 1 and 3 and table 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Bartlett. All right,
Okay.
on roll call, Mr. Bartlett,
Aye.
Mrs. Graves,
Hi.
Dr. Lewis,
Aye.
Ms. Palazzolo,
Aye.
Ms. Rankin,
Aye.
Mr. Stelzer.
Aye.
All right, we'll do it that way. And Maggie, everybody will be in touch with you as to what they would like to hear. All right, miscellaneous. As you all know, the budget hearing is going to be July the 27th at 5:30. We, of course, moved that to accommodate Tony, who I think is going to be on vacation.
Ah,
Where
just got
Where you
back.
gonna be, Tony? Huh?
Ah, nothing like a guilt trip.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, more power to you. I'm glad somebody can go on a vacation. Okay, the safety committee concerns. Now, Avi and I just had a very good meeting with the chief regarding a lot of these issues. I would think most of this is already, are we just going to refer the Miami Hill and South Miami? It's not, is it South Miami Road? It is South Miami Road too, because there's some folks in front of the condominiums. So should we just go ahead and add those 2 items, and everything is going to be rolled into one big ball here anyway?
Right, I
Yeah.
think it's just kind of all of it together and.
Yeah.
be able to-
Yeah. Okay, I think that
We
would be good.
already figured that.
Yeah, we made some pretty good, right, okay.
Okay,
All four of those streets.
All 4 of those streets, yes. Settle, Petoskey, Miami Hill, and South Miami Road.
okay, so they're all going.
They're all going,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Good.
Anybody got any other streets they'd like to have added?
I mean, it could be safety, traffic, feeding, all the streets, what matters.
Yeah. All right, well, while we're on committee assignments, though, let me go ahead and get back to Tim Feitner. I've got a communique from Tim that came in, and I think, Maggie, this is going to go into rules and law.
Okay.
This has to do, with the ordinance pertaining to the grills on balconies, primarily in the condominiums, although he has it listed as multifamily dwellings. There was a change in the state code, apparently. It's kind of a controversy, and that I think you should probably, obviously check with Tim, check with Ed on this one, because I think Ed, is there something about this that I'm leaving out or missing?
No. What Tim said is he's sending me the state code. I'll take a look at it and then make sure whatever we decide to do will comply with that state code. Okay.
Okay.
But he's right about what he's saying. Apparently, a lot of the people want to have outdoor grills on their balconies, is what I've heard.
Well, and actually, some of them, you know, they have the gas piped in, and there was
Yeah.
some type of fire extinguisher or something that was a part of the original construction in some of the buildings, but not in other of the buildings. And I think that's
The
part of-
newer ones have all the fire extinguishers and the older ones don't, I think is what it is.
okay.
And those balconies are all wood?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Are the balconies mostly wood? Made of wood?
I don't know.
Are we talking about the new condos or are we talking?
Yeah, we're talking about the new condos.
I think the new condos are all stone.
I would think
The
so too.
patios.
So,
And the patios are? Okay, thanks, Joe.
and I believe on some of the original ones, you know, on Jordan Park or something, and again, I'm speculating somewhat here. I believe they might have been sprinkled, you know, to accommodate, you know, for having the grill out there. All I'm saying is, Maggie, you need to sort of investigate this. It's in your.
Ed, when you get that code, could you forward it to me so that I can know what I'm talking about?
I sure will.
Okay.
Sure will. Thank you.
I'll just compare it, if you're going to compare it to ours, I'd love your opinion too as to what differs and what that effect is.
Okay, all right. I'll get it from Tim. I'll send Tim an email tonight.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, the 5G guidelines. As you know, there's been a lot of work done to get these guidelines brought together, you know, into a very nice comprehensive document that we have now recently published on the website. I really have got to give Eileen Beatty, you know, the bulk of the credit for this. Marcy Lewis, you know, put together the committee. Kelly was on the committee. We did have a nice telephone conference with Jack or Frost Brown, you know, to basically make sure that what we're doing passes legal muster. Marcy, do you want to go ahead or Eileen, do you want to go ahead and thank some of the other members that were participated in this?
Yeah, thank you. I would like to. They've been hugely helpful. They did really so much research and everything to get us started and to get all of the information we needed to write it up. And that would be Liz Fuller, Mary Beth York, Brad Lockhart, Susan Branovic Page, Derek Page, Lynn Long, and Jennifer Mansler. So I want to thank them.
Yeah, they all did a lot of work. But again, Eileen Beatty really did the lion's share of the work on this thing. And she really does deserve a great deal of appreciation and thanks.
Absolutely.
I'd like to second that because, you know, after our last meeting, when we discussed this, I talked to Eileen either that night or the next day and some of the citizens who ended up on the committee, and she just went with it 100%. So
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you. I knew you'd be a good person to put this into motion.
I say we get her a brick.
I say we get it. It makes great reading too. Y'all should look into it.
Oh, yeah, if you need bedside reading to help you go to sleep, it's the perfect thing.
All right. Okay, Tony, moving on to resolutions.
All right,
Are we gonna talk about this?
one resolution.
Do you have questions? I'm sorry. If you want to ask some
I
questions.
just, yes.
Yeah.
Because again, I just,
Sure.
well, like on the front, this says ordinance, but this is not an ordinance, so, right?
It becomes, well, I think Ed can best answer that. It becomes part of, or it's a supplement to the ordinance, that ordinance that we passed.
Because we're not voting on it,
No,
right?
we're not voting.
So it's not an ordinance unto itself. It
No,
just-
not unto itself. It is not.
It threw me when I saw ordinance 0-15.
That's the ordinance that it
It's references.
references.
It's a part of that ordinance.
Yeah, it's a supplement too, basically.
I just want to make sure I got that. Yeah, I didn't think we were passing an
No,
ordinance.
no.
Because I didn't see it on the agenda, so I just want to make sure.
Well, wait a minute, Bill. It's my understanding that these are just the guidelines that are set forth after the ordinance itself created the basics for what we're going to do with 5G, correct?
Well, yes, but in the ordinance itself, of course, the guidelines are, that there are guidelines are referenced in the ordinance. These are the guidelines.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's fine then.
I believe that's, like I said, that's a separate document. I mean, it's not all on the same paper together.
As long as they're referenced in the ordinance and as long as they're readily available for people that would be interested, that's all you have to do.
Yeah, they're on the website, right?
Yes, yeah, it's been published on the website. Yeah, it's under the building code section.
But I'd also like to add for folks that written in the ordinance is the ability to amend or supplement this in the future.
Yeah.
Nice call.
Yeah,
Good.
I do.
Okay. Hey, I mean, does anybody else, I didn't mean to rush on. Anybody else got any questions about them?
I did just have one other question.
Sure.
It's the, where am I? I'm in section 1C5 is where I'm looking at. And it just says existing pedestrian style decorative street and pole fixtures are classified as historical landmarks. So does that mean it's not every pole, right? Not all street lights. It says pedestrian scale decorative. I'm just curious what that's referencing.
Eileen, you can probably know better than me. I believe we're referencing though the street lights and poles within the historic district.
No, there's actually these decorative historic poles, the old gaslight versions that are actually listed in our ordinance on the historic district as landmarks. So we don't want them fooling around with those, changing them because they are not big enough to support the small cell antennas and all the equipment. So the only way they'd be able to use those is if they replaced them. And so, no, we don't want them changing those or taking those out. Do you know which poles I'm talking about, though?
No,
You can see them all the way down Miami Bluff, for example.
The gas lights.
Oh, the gaslight, yeah.
Gaslight, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
they're all
So-
over the village.
But Eileen, you said they're also, they're identified in the code book too, you said, or?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. It was a broad phrase and I wasn't sure if it applied to every one of the ones or, because it just says existing pedestrian style decorative. And so I didn't know if there's specific ones. So, okay.
Got
Got
it.
it.
Next time we change it, we can always clear that, make that a tighter if you want.
I think it would be good if you could point to them where in the code book it is or whatever to say C section, blah, 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 don't
Got
repeat, just point them to it so they know.
Got it.
Any other questions?
Yeah, just real quick, so I understand this. So these guidelines go into effect July 12th, is what the document says? So
Yeah.
they're effective yesterday. What else do we need to do on 5G as we look into the future? What are the next steps?
Well,
Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, obviously, Joe, I mean, part of the next step there will be, once we meet with PeakNet to find out, what it is their proposal is and what it is they want to do, where they want to do it and how they want to do it. I mean, I would think some of that, will fall into place once we get there, which will, as I believe that's going to be coming up here soon. The other aspect that, of course, we want to be working on is the right-of-way document, which is sort of a document that runs in parallel to the 5G document that we passed a couple of weeks ago.
Right, but let's clarify, that's all utilities, not just 5G.
That's all utilities.
Okay,
Yeah.
And so when do we pass that? Or when do we bring that up for
that's our
a
next
vote? Or
phase then. The right of
Well,
way is
The,
our next phase. That will
It's our
start-
next phase. I mean, obviously, Joe, it's going to be handled partly the same way that we handled the 5G guidelines. We'll probably, again, come up with another group or task force, if you will, we have, Frost Brown has sent us, some examples of other municipalities that we can maybe, reference, but we have to essentially make it our document, and make sure that all the particulars fit us. There is going to be a bit of work that'll have to be done on that. I would like to say that we can have that done by, our next meeting here on July the 27th.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure I can say that with any certainty. I mean, maybe.
Okay, so once we have that document in place, we've done everything possible to put us in the best position
Yes.
for when the 5G provider comes in to have as much say as possible.
I would,
The one thing, Joe, is to build on it is that right-of-way legislation, though, we can't vote on it. Once we have an initial cut at it, it has to get submitted to the public utility, the PUCO, and then there has to be a 45-day wait period. So We can't pass it until that 45-day wait period after we've submitted something to PUC.
Okay, we can't control that. It's 45 days. We just have to build into the process. But you know, what do we need to do to get to that 45-day period?
Yeah, and it is an actual ordinance that gets passed. So that's why it's in Kelly's committee, is because it has to come out of
Okay.
her committee as an ordinance.
All right, got it. Thank you.
And just two other things. Sorry,
Sure.
Bill, just two
Sure.
other things real quick. that
Hey, there's
we
my
need to work
buddy.
on is the design guidelines. We could fill out a great deal more with specifics on how we want to camouflage things. That's still a level of detail that we didn't get to with this round because we had to get it done so quickly. And the other thing is Maggie and I were chatting about the noise ordinance that we have on the books is not very strong. So I think it would be very helpful if we could update that as quickly as possible. So,
I agree. The noise ordinance would become, you know, that probably would become part of the right-of-way document, or possibly even the other document. That noise business is a tricky thing. You know, we've taken a pass at that once before. So, you know, I talked with, I think it was Dennis Walter, who took a stab at it the last time. I don't know whether, were you involved in that too, Maggie? I don't know whether whose committee that was in anymore, but.
Yeah, it was in my committee. I think he was on my committee, and we did. And ultimately, so it was back when Dan was mayor, and Eileen and I spoke about this. Is that he was nervous. We were talking about the barn among other things, but he was nervous to put a decibel level on it because of the way decibel levels change exponentially rather than linearly when you move toward or away from a noise. And he was concerned about measurements being correct and how expensive it would be. I think we can look at it differently, but we just need to.
Yeah, because obviously we might want to look, obviously, what some other communities have done. And I do think we might want to, at least to get us, you know, off to a start on this, we might want to target this, you know, as it regards the 5G installation, the poles, if there's some type of a, you know, box that's mounted somewhat down the pole that feeds the power, the signal, you know, those kind of things. There's been, you know, various people that have said those boxes generate a hum, a buzz. You know, I think we might want to get started concentrating in that area if we can first.
That's fine. I know you, when we talked about it, whatever day that was last week, you were going to determine what that noise was and how loud it is. So if you work on that angle, and then I'll do some research on other communities and what they have. And I don't know specifically, I mean, there's some in the city, but the city's kind of a different animal. Like other small communities that have had 5G come in, what have they done, or what do their noise ordinances look like? So
Yeah.
if somebody has a list of smaller villages or communities that have done this 5G before, then I can look at them specifically for noise, and that would be much more helpful.
Maggie, we looked, Frost Todd Brown gave us the design guidelines from Dublin and Canal Winchester.
Okay.
They're
I know
a lot larger. Oh, no, you
Yeah.
don't think that's a good place to
Yeah.
go?
no,
Um,
I have done so much research. It's coming out of my ears. Now, I've looked at tons and dozens of other communities and their noise ordinances, and the ones that have already written it for 5G. And so that's where I got the information for the noise portion of the design guidelines. So that work's pretty much already done. I think what I haven't done that we could supplement with is looking at nearby communities. That I did not do and would be helpful. But the other thing I have done all the research on is how loud it really is. And so I have those decibel levels, and the best description is it's the without any muffler on it. It's a fan is what it does. It's a fan attached to it that cools all the equipment like you'd have to cool a computer. That's what it is. And
So
it's
it's like a
about the size of a noise of an air conditioner, a window, or a big air conditioner. So 24 hours a day.
Could you send that to me? Because I don't have that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, that would be helpful.
Absolutely.
I'd like to fold in as much of this data as we can when we make these decisions. And
Yeah.
so when we have the meeting, if people are listening, they can actually get the full story instead of, because they
Yeah.
don't all come to your meetings and my meetings. And
Got it. unless anybody has any more questions, I'm gonna sign off.
I have a question for you, Eileen.
Yeah.
With specifics to fleshing out the details of the camouflaging, and there was another area you mentioned. Do you think that's something your committee would do, or we need to get another group to do it, or?
Well, I think it depends on, I mean, I would ask them first, but they did a lot of work in a really short period of time, and I don't want to volunteer them, but I will ask them.
Are people in agreement with that might be a good thing to start doing, or can we give it a break, or?
Well, hold on. It's specific. No, there's going to be no break. I mean, we need to get to, are you talking about the right-of-way document?
No, I'm talking about,
Camouflage.
Oh,
Camouflage.
okay.
what was the other area you said needed to be expanded upon besides camouflage?
Just the noise,
Then always-
camouflage and noise. I think noise is the highest priority. And
Okay.
yeah, I could really use a break. That's all.
Yeah, we hear you.
Thank you.
Or a Kit Kat bar.
Oh, thank you. Anybody else?
We all good? Everything?
Again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Eileen.
Okay, see ya.
All right, Tony, resolution.
All right, the resolution to authorize Ohio Department of Transportation to proceed with various traffic signal signing and pavement marking upgrades on US 50 Wooster Pike, located on the eastern corridor, section II-III PID number 112171, county/route/section Ham Eastern Corridor VAR TSG, and enter into contract.
Okay, this is the third reading. I need a motion to accept this.
So moved.
And do I hear a second? Rob's got the motion. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second, Kelly. On roll call, Mr. Bartlett,
Aye.
Mr. Graves, Dr. Lewis,
Aye.
Ms. Palazzolo,
Aye.
Ms. Rankin,
aye.
Mr. Stelzer.
Aye.
All right, will be passed. All right, Tony, moving on to, I think I was the only resolution, moving on to the last ordinance.
Yes, ordinance amending section 32.13 of the Mariemont Code of Ordinances, Rules of Council, section A, Rule 1, regarding council meeting time.
All right, officially moving the time to 6:30. All right, that was the third reading. Do I have a motion to accept this in a second?
So moved.
Second,
Second, Mr. Bartlett,
Aye.
Mrs. Graves. Aye. Dr. Lewis,
Aye.
Ms. Palazzolo, Maggie,
Aye. Is it not coming through very well?
I don't know.
No.
Okay.
Ms. Rankin
aye.
and Mr. Stelzer.
Aye.
All right, you guys did good. Really good. That concludes the business.
All right.
Any other last minutes? No?
Rob, just want to ask Rob about, you want to get together on next week, like Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, well, how's it look for Kelly and Joe? This is to understand the assumptions for the budget for next year.
Okay, what's the question? When?
Next-
Yes. Monday or Tuesday, 5, 6-ish,
5, 6-ish.
or whenever.
I'll check.
Or-
I'll check. I'll let
What?
you know.
Open at this
I
point,
can let you know
Monday, Tuesday.
tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm open currently too. So that's either one of those days is fine by me, Tony.
all right, sounds good, guys.
All right.
One final thing, Bill, you mentioned today about the contract for the street vacation and sale.
Yeah,
We just got comments back from the buyer's attorney today, which were no comments. So we should be ready to get cooking on that. Hopefully we can get the final version of the draft or final version of the contract approved Thursday. And hopefully by next council meeting, it'll be in front of council for final approval. And Ed and I and Frost Brown talked a timeline, and we think we can probably close the day or two after if we get council approval in 2 weeks. So
that'd be great.
Excellent.
it's moving at this point.
That'd be great. Great. I mean, everything was good with the survey and everything, correct?
surveys in. There's one technical issue about whether we have to have a dividing line on the survey that we received, and Frost Brown's running that down right now with the county auditor.
Okay,
There's a technique we can probably use to not have to do that, but we need to verify it. So,
okay. All right, sounds good. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, we're adjourned.
All right. Later, Gators.
All right.
See y'all.
I didn't know who Eileen was.
Oh, sorry.